there's another passenger on the plane in medical distress.
Uh-oh.
There's a doctor and a nurse on the plane working on the passenger. Mark Andrews, who's a diabetic, walks over and says, have you checked her blood sugar?
Yeah.
Check her blood sugar. Find out that's the problem. He diagnoses the problem. They give her some orange juice. She feels better. Mark Andrews saves the day.
So Mark Andrews saved the woman's life
with orange
juice. Which means in a very strange way, if the Baltimore Ravens had beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, she's dead.
Yeah.
So the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. Won't he do it?
Yes.
Praise Jesus.
Well, I'm sure Ravens fans are like,
I'm just saying, like, if he's not on that plane, if he's not on that plane, she's dead.
There's a part of me that's also, there's a doctor and a nurse there, and it takes a tight end from the Ravens to like diagnose the problem. Like, what are the doctor and the nurse doing?
Most doctors don't want that on their hands if things go left. They're like, I want to
the doctor had a couple glasses of wine. He's like, I don't want to work right now.
I can tell you a story. I was on a plane when I was a kid flying somewhere, and the pilot comes over the loudspeaker and goes, is there a doctor on board? We have a medical situation in row 8. And the doctor raised his hand, and they escorted him up to this patient they thought had a heart attack and died. So the doctor, no joke, watched with my own eyes, hand to God, and the guy goes over and goes, slap! Right? And the dude wakes up and he goes, what's going on? What's going on? And they're like, oh, we thought you had a heart attack.
We thought you were dead. Yeah. It turns out you're not dead.
Yeah, it turned out his wife was like, Billy's not moving, and called, rang the bell.
Yeah.
And they didn't slap him. No joke, a doctor walked over to him and said, slap!
See?
Dude woke up and was pissed.
It's called doctor's orders.
In any event, the greatest thing about the Mark Andrews story is the secondary part of the story.
What's that?
Now that Mark Andrews is becoming more of a household name to non-football fans for saving a woman's life 30,000 feet in the air, we also learned that Mark Andrews has a girlfriend.
Oh.
That girlfriend...
Oh, good for you, Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Good for you.
...is a college senior at the College of Charleston.
Yeah.
And they've been together for, I guess, quite some time now.
Oh, not too long.
And, of course, when your boyfriend saves someone's life at 30,000 feet, non-football fans want to learn more about him, and that's what we learned.
Right.
So, my only question to you, leave that up there, please, for a moment.
Yeah, I mean...
Who's luckier? The woman whose life was saved or Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews.
I'm going to be honest, Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
That's clearly...
Like, if orange juice saved her life, then Mark Andrews is the big winner right here.
It's the orange juice part make it sound less heroic.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Does.
It's just like, you saved her with orange juice.
You couldn't give her a
You didn't give her a kidney. You saved her with orange juice.
Well, the fact that she's alive, right? He could have handed her a Jack and Coke and it would have been left.
I tell you, I'm still... Like, if you don't believe in a higher power or things happening for a reason, that's on you. This is not a religious show, obviously.
Liberty. We've talking about religion so far today, to be
quite
honest.
Obviously. Yeah. But it's like, I can't get the thought out of my mind that if the Baltimore Ravens had advanced to the Super Bowl, Mark Andrews is not on that flight, and that woman is dead.
I like to think
think about
I like to think that eventually the doctor figures it out. In that
You would
scenario,
like to
I
think
like
so.
to think that eventually the doctor
But
figures
the
out
doctor
maybe an orange,
didn't.
maybe
They're like, anyone else have any ideas?
Yeah, he has his eye mask on. He's like...
Yeah, they opened it up to Q&A. They looked at it like, so...
Does anyone know what we should do here? She's done.
Any ideas?
Yeah.
No.
So, like, she'd be dead.
Oh, good for Mark Andrews.
Well, good for Mark, man.
Moving on.
Breaking news real quick. I'm being told that Punxsutawney Phil at Gobbler's Knob did not see his shadow.
Oh, man.
So spring comes early.
That's really spring.
Hey!
That's warming up. That's warming it up.
Philip.
Gobbler's Knob. Gobbler's Knob. Gobbler's Knob.
Okay,
Yeah,
if you just entered the show, you're like, what
I
is
will
happening?
be making shirts for the entire staff. Gobbler's Knob shirts.
Yeah.
That's great.
Big old groundhog right there. Love it.
Moving on. Moving really far
Hey,
on.
have you ever had your knob gobbler?
Moving way on. I know that you and the Coons are very close.
Yep.
Let's say the Coons calls your phone right now. You pick up and says, hey, it's the Coons.
Yep.
Hey, Coons. Coons says, Jordan Love played well this season, but I have to make a decision whether or not I give him a big, long contract. What do you think I should do, Craig?
Yeah, I think, they're in an interesting position because he proved that he can play football.
Yeah.
And obviously he had a great playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys, and outside of that last pass, obviously against San Fran, he was the better quarterback for 3.5 quarters of that game. They have no choice. The question now becomes on the Jordan Love side, because you can't make the $250 million demand. Like, you've had 1 year of football. And to your credit, it was the most important year of your life because of the contractual aspects of the NFL. Now, if he had 3 years and now you're going into the contract year or the decision of 50-year options and all that kind of stuff, then it's a no-brainer. He's getting the big bag. So it's going to be interesting. He's going to answer your first question. You have to sign him. You have to make a long-term 5-year commitment to him because, like we always say, there are no other quarterbacks out there, especially a guy in his 20s who's now entering his prime years as an NFL quarterback. I just don't know that I can commit, $200 million to him just yet. So to me, the middle ground is maybe you don't get 5. Maybe I'll give you a little more per year, but it's going to be a 3-year deal. So I think that's going to be kind of like the devil's in the details. But there's no disputing the fact that Green Bay has no choice. They have to sign him to a multi-year deal because play out the option. What if you don't? Who do you got?
Nobody.
Yeah. Right, and where are you going?
Nowhere.
You're a playoff team. You didn't win your division. You got to deal with Detroit at least for the next year or two as they figure out what to do with Jared Goff. They're going to extend him, obviously. I think you give him a 3 to 5 year deal and call it a day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this guy brought you to the divisional round, right?
Yep.
And on top of that, he was, starting from like week 9 and on, I think we got the graphics to show it. He was money good. Like, he was damn good. 3 interceptions, 23 touchdowns, and 7-3. What's interesting about him going forward, man, like if you're Gutekunst, or Kutus, as we like to say here, you know how much of a lack of a headache he is that you don't have to listen to Aaron Rodgers the offseason. Yeah. Like this time, you understand, this time of the year for the Green Bay Packers, this was hell for them.
Every year, like
every year. This kid, like Gutekunst's like, man, I'll give you extra if you just don't ever be what Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like, what's Jordan Love's best asset? Not being Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, like think about this kid. Gutekunst every offseason was like, well, now we got to go into, like, control. Like, is our quarterback going to a dunk tank to try to figure out what's next?
There was a big story in Green Bay yesterday that apparently his phone does receive text messages wherever he is, so they can communicate with him in the offseason as well. But your guys' point's dead on. As great a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers is and was, and no one disputes that. Just ask Aaron, he'll tell you how good he is. The reality is that every single year, this time of year especially, he was a pain in the ass, and he held the franchise hostage. So this is a much different feeling this offseason versus last couple.
Don't forget, on draft day, he demanded a trade. Like the morning of draft day. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Moving on, we have one more story for you. As a former offensive lineman, heading into a Super Bowl week, imagine an edge rusher on the other team said that you and your teammates hold a lot.
Yeah, now the spotlight's on me. That's the bottom line. And if you're Juan Taylor, he already has 16 holding penalties.
I think he's got the most of any offensive
starts, too. Don't get the false starts.
Like, believe it or not, Craig, I was on that list, right? And then when you got to start.
Personal fouls.
I got a lot I was littered with a lot of things I shouldn't have done. Anyway, overall, Nick Bosa, man, when you look at him, like, it really goes back to the last time he played the Chiefs, when it was 3rd and 15. Eric Fisher, he complained at the end. I was held on that play. Well, that was Patrick Mahomes had like a big deep ball to Tyreek Hill that sparked the comeback, right? So this is a little bit of trauma. This is like, hey, whatever happened in the last Super Bowl can't happen. So I'm going to fish any way I can to make sure that the refs look at me and pay attention that these guys are holding, and he already has a track record for holding.
And by the way, there's a lot to be said about that level of gamesmanship because the refs are people, they're humans, and I guarantee you that San Francisco is going to go to them before the game, which is their job to do, by the way, and they're going to say, do me a favor, watch the handsiness of the offensive line. They hold a lot. The penalties belie that. You've got the second most penalized offensive line in all of football, and the one guy you guys were talking about, Taylor, is the most penalized offensive lineman in the sport. So Bosa's not saying something that ain't accurate.
Craig, who's the most what?
Penalized?
Penalized.
How do you say that? Penalized?
Penalized.
Penalized?
I just wanted to get that.
I think it's gobbler's knob.
I will say this. So,
that's going to be all
one thing about this, William, I'm sure you can back me up on this, is a lot of times it's when you have a quarterback as moving as Mahomes, gets out of the pocket, moves things. A lot of times you can see O-linemen expect the quarterback to be here running that way and then holding.
But people don't understand, like, when you got a guy like Bosa and you're on the edge and you're locking him up, if I'm locking him and he makes a quick reaction, he takes my hands, like, it's going to look like holding every time.
Sure.
So it's not like I got to reset my hands and try. Like, this guy's a dog. Like, it's hard to control pit bulls like that coming off the edge.
Yeah, he did not comment on the waxing crescent moon. However, he did say, though, that Kansas City likes to hold it.
We have an update on that.
I am being told in my ear right now from our researcher, Troy, that when Willie Colon played, he too led the league in penalties amongst all offensive linemen.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
I was at least top 5.
So,
congratulations, Willie.
Just want to crown you.
Yep.
The greatest.
Top 5.
There you go.
There you go.
He makes it look so much cooler than I do. Damn it, I hate that. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.